And then I'll pop everybody on mute. Okay, so welcome to our Monday motivation evening. Really lovely to see so many of you on here. Yeah, we'll let you allow yourselves to unmute yourself. It keeps coming up with a message. Okay, so if you are new to the team, just a very special welcome to all of you. Our meetings are all about our dose of motivation, inspiration, and getting you the tools to get more done. So tonight is a little bit of a follow-up. We've been doing a series of trainings over the last few weeks, all about our goal setting, you know, having a look at our vision for our future. So tonight I just feel ties in really, really well, because once we've got those goals, it's about the activities that we take to go and achieve those goals, isn't it? And that's done by managing our time and planning our activities. So I am going to be doing some of the training, but I've got some of our lovely leaders that are going to be helping us tonight as well. So you'll see a couple of those coming on and sharing some tips, and hopefully towards the end we'll have an opportunity for anybody else that wants to share a top tip or maybe something that's really sort of helping them utilize their time effectively. So, you know, time management is something that I had never really considered before I joined network marketing, but in this business, you are your own boss, you are the managing director, you know, and it's very easy when you've got a job and you've got a boss and you've got them telling you what to do, when, you know, when you can go to the toilet, when you can eat your dinner, what you've got to do when. But when we employ ourselves, it really is about having to have that time management and that planning really sort of set in stone that's going to help us with our business. And it's all about, you know, we have a massive opportunity with Oriflame, an opportunity where we have the option of changing our lives and allowing those dreams to become a reality. Or we also have the option of staying and kind of still having that life, you know, and if we want to have, you know, the extra little bit of pocket money, that's all fine, and everybody has their own plan. But if you are serious and you do want to change your life, you know, you really do have an opportunity to do that. So it's about us being prepared. It's about us being focused on the activities that are going to take us to that destination. So, and we'll start with some questions. Okay, so we asked this question last week, didn't we? Who would like the rest of your life to be the best of your life? Let me open up the chat again. Sometimes when I open the chat, it won't let me move the slides. Me, love it. And, you know, it is really all about us being really clear on what we want that to look like, isn't it? You know, because it's okay saying, I want things to be better, but what is it that we want to be better? And we have spent the past couple of weeks at looking at those things and being really specific, really understanding what it is, why we want it, and looking at how then we can achieve it. So, you know, getting really clear on your vision and your goals is a really important part of this business, because, you know, really the future is in your hands. So do you know how you are going to achieve that vision and goals? Nobody's answering me. Yes, great stuff. Okay. I guess the question is, do you have a plan, and is it all mapped out for you? You know, do you know what you need to do, when, and how you are going to really sort of superpower your time to make that happen when you want it to, because it is all about us putting a deadline on it as well, isn't it? So, you know, if you want to create your life script and you want to achieve your goals, I believe there are 6 principles to doing this. The first principle is creating that life script, and that's setting your goals, which I'm sure most of us already have now. You know, if you haven't, you can go back and have a look at the 2 videos. But, you know, setting goals that really mean something to you, those heart's desires. You know, we talked about the emotional side of that, and when our emotions evolved in our goals, then, you know, nothing will stop us from going and doing them. So goals are absolutely meaningless without a plan of how you're going to achieve them. You need to create a roadmap that is going to help you towards reaching those goals and building a path towards them. So we need our daily planner and our tracker. We need to make that plan, and it's really a crucial part of our time management, you know, and it really doesn't matter how you do it. You know, we all have our own ways of working, but, you know, we have set a, what's it called now, our goals planner and our journal, and it's all been based around, you know, those things that we're going to go through, some of them tonight, you know, but setting down that time, allocating the time so that you can optimize every sort of minute of your day to take you towards your goals. But it's not just about, you know, having that plan and having the activities and having the diary. It's about what we do with that time. So it's about prioritizing those activities that are proactive and, you know, productive towards taking us on our life script. So it's about the work, the actions, the activities that we're going to do. And then making sure it's all kind of structured and in sync. Now, our goals planner and journal is all based around the campaigns. Our events calendar and everything are based around the 3 weeks. The planner starts on a Friday because the campaign starts on a Friday. You know, it's about having things that are in sync and structured alongside your business. It's also about how we stick to that plan. So it's regularly thinking about the review, the tracking and the monitoring that goes alongside, you know, where are we up to? Are we on track? What do we need to do? How do we need to adjust ourselves to make sure that if we're not on target to reach our goals right now, that we get on target to reach our goals. And then, of course, that's part of our tracking and reflection through coaching and feedback. And, you know, we are very, very fortunate to have an amazing group of leaders that do support and coach and provide that one-to-one support and that group support that gives the feedback that allows you to adjust the sails and, you know, for the wind to take us much quicker on our journey. So once you've reached you know, those goals, and we get our rewards and we get our recognition, that ignites the fire, the passion then to go further, doesn't it? And once we go on a journey of our you know, our mindset that we talked about, you know, we're bookending that day with a real positive psychology. We're looking at our gratefuls, we're looking at our affirmations, we're looking at developing ourselves personally. You know, that positive mental attitude is what then propels us then to set that next level of goals. So when we first join the business, we don't always see the things this business can give us, but as we grow and develop, we will see those things. So you've got to know what you want, and then you'll find the time to look for it. So firstly, you need to know what it is that you want. That is your vision, and that is your goals, you know, your why that we've talked about. And then the steps, you know, those goals, those action steps that we're going to take. And this is what we call your compass, okay? But then you'll find the time, you'll look for it, and this is your clock. So this is quite an interesting one. Would you please tell me where I ought to go from here, says Alice. That depends a good deal on where you want to go, said the cat. I don't much care, says Alice. Well, then it doesn't really matter much the way that you go. And that's quite true in life, isn't it? Because, you know, if we don't know where we're going, how do we know to get that direction? So it is all about having that vision first, and then knowing how we can use our time effectively to take us towards our destination. So live your life by your compass and not your clock. Know where you're going in life. Have your dreams, have your main goal, and work the steps towards that goal. So, you know, plan each campaign so that they take you one step further to reach that dream, that goal that you've set yourself to achieve. Okay, so know what you want. I'm just going to invite Leslie on at this stage. I've been working quite closely with Leslie. Leslie is one of my frontline leaders, and we've been working our way through the goals. And she shared with me last night where she's up to with the goals, and I've just asked her, you know, to share with you her goals. So Leslie, I'm just going to let you come on. This is Leslie's vision and goals.
Put yourself on mute. Yeah. Right. Yeah, right. It's December 2021 and I've achieved Gold Director with one successful director and one team manager with a fabulous team synergy of everyone working together and achieving their goals. I've reduced my working hours at Aldi and my kitchen extension is finished with the high glass cupboards, doors, large fridge freezer and my utility area completed. I'm earning £1,500, retailing 600 BP personally and recruiting 4 new brand partners and a team turnover of 15,000 BP every 3 weeks. And for the future, I will travel to the islands of Honduras to visit my son. Obviously, he's here at the moment. He's just gone out for a walk, working from home from here, so that's lovely. Visiting my family in Canada and a cruise holiday was something I've always wanted. Obviously, they were going to be in obviously my, you know, near goals. That's it. But obviously, with pandemic, obviously we just don't know when we're going to travel, do we? So obviously, my goal now is set on my kitchen, and then my travel will come after when we can go all safely. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for sharing that, Leslie. We've been having some interesting discussions about the goal setting, and you know, Leslie had always told me about going and traveling to Honduras, and with the things that's going on, and remember the last session we talked about our counter intentions and those distractions. So somewhere in Leslie's mind, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind me sharing this, but she's all of a sudden thought, that's now not possible. We've now got a pandemic. We now can't travel. So her mindset's shifted, you know, and I think it's really important to know this is only temporary. We can still look towards that travel. We can still look towards that vision that we've always wanted, but working through your goals and working at what was a priority. One of the things that came out of that was a new kitchen, and that we don't really know kind of where that came from. So, you know, it's really good to kind of have a look in detail about what right now is really important to you, what's going to happen in the future, and you know, and not allow those counter intentions to stop that thought and that vision about the future that you want. So, you know, we've been working our way through goal setting. So some of the things that we've looked at is, you know, what it is that Leslie wants, how much money that she needs to achieve that. And we've looked at the business giving her initially an income of £1,000 a month. And then we've looked at that stretch goal of the £1,500 a month by the end of next year. So looking at that, we've broken down the business, we've looked at that together. And we've looked at, you know, how many people, what the team turnover needs to look like, what the structure looks like, you know, and we've I have this sheet that kind of works it all out for you. And we've looked at that together. And then what we've done is we've created that visual for Leslie to walk. So we talked about having your circles and seeing your business built, and this is something that we were working to together last night and putting together. And then this is something where Leslie can work now, put little stars on, put names next to the circles, start to see the business. And we're having a discussion. And one of the first things Leslie said is, oh, wow, that's a lot of circles. Actually, you know, understanding what the business needs to look like is what's going to draw you towards having that business structure and understanding what actions you need to take to get to where you want to be for that income that you desire. So it's been a really useful exercise, I feel, for Leslie. And you know, since we've been doing that, I know Leslie won't mind me saying she's been so much more focused on what activities she needs to do daily, and reporting back to me. I've done my 50 emails, I've done my 10 Facebook ads, I've done this, I've done that, and you know, I'm starting to see the results coming through and getting really excited, because now there's a really clear vision and you really know where you're going in the business now. Leslie, would that be fair to say?
That's it, yeah. And I've printed off my circles there. Can you see? Yeah, yeah, printed, so I can fill them in then each campaign to obviously where I'm at each campaign then. But obviously is the bigger. Oh, definitely, I can see where I'm going. That's it. Yeah.
Fabulous, thank you.
And obviously having my son obviously here now till at least January, because their school's not going back until then. He's working from home here. I've not gone to see him, but he's come to see me, and obviously for a lot longer.
Oh.
Yeah.
So in a way, you've attracted, it's funny, isn't it, because you said to me a long time ago that you wanted to go visit your son in Honduras. In actual fact, you were saying now that's not going to be possible because of the pandemic, but actually what's happened is your son's come to you. And isn't it amazing how the law of attraction will allow these things to happen even with what's going on? And I think that's kind of quite incredible, actually, because you've been asking for those things, I know, for a long time, and suddenly it has become a bit of a reality for you already.
That's it. I've just had to lose my office though, haven't I? Because he's in there now.
Pinched your office.
It's pinched my office, so yeah, I'm moved out. I've had to move out. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Leslie. I'm sure that, you know, has been useful. It's great to hear how people have gone on that journey of setting goals and got to where, you know, they feel where they know where they're going. You know, but it's an important part, isn't it, to train your brain to use your compass. So we talked a little bit about the RAS, the reticular activating system, and we know this will allow information into our subconscious mind that either threatens us, is of interest to us, or fits in with our beliefs. So we start to find that right information is coming to us, you know, and we really need to make sure that we understand actually that RAS is your sat nav, that's your compass, and it needs to know the destination, because if it doesn't know where it's going, it's going to go round and you're going to go round and round in circles. So be really clear about what it is that you want, you know, get information from your dreams and a vision, and have a clear articulation of a desired focus for your future. You know, it's where do you want your RAS to take you? What is it that you're going to tell it that you want to spend the time on? Because it will figure out, you know, we talked about, if you know the why, you'll figure out the how. Well, it's part of this that works towards that. So it's really, really important that if you haven't got your goals, you haven't got your vision, to really go back and think about that. You know, and there's a bit of a health and safety warning. This book is a fabulous book, Time Management for Manic Mums, and it talks about your RAS in here, talks about health and safety, and you really do need to be quite specific and tell it what you want. As I've just explained, Leslie's been asking to see her son in Honduras. It's happened, hasn't it? You know, so tell your sat nav where you want to go and what you want to see. It's really quite interesting. And you set that activity up for your destiny diary and tell it what you want daily. So do you know where you want to go, but you don't know how to get there? Maybe, I know I've certainly gone through periods of my life where I'm completely overwhelmed. You know, I'm a busy mum, I've got the house to look after, 4 children, I work full time. All of those things are, you know, there's so much to do, but I really don't know what to do first. And, you know, some of us are like Manic Martha and some of us are like Perfect Paula. We are all different. So what we want to do is really kind of help you to get from manic to marvelous, if you do feel like that. You know, we all have the same time in the day, we all have the same hours. There is no more time. Once it's gone, it's gone. You know, it is what, as they say, it's here today, it's gone tomorrow. But it's really important that we ask ourselves how we do spend it. You see, that 168 hours a week for the average person would be spent on a job, traveling, you know, sleep or eating or personal hygiene, shopping, your housework and all of those things. But even if we take the average person, at the end of the week, there would still be 37 hours, enough time to pursue your dreams. And if you haven't got a full job, well, you know, great, you've got bloody, what's that, 77 hours to pursue your dreams, haven't you? You know, so it is incredible. But some people will achieve everything, even though they have limited time. It's about what we do with those hours that's the important thing, isn't it? And as it says, and guess what, there's still 37 hours left, so still enough time to do a full-time job, hey? So the key to time management, really the fundamental and overwhelming truth is that you can't manage time. You know, whether you like it or not, time can't be tamed, it can't be trained, it can't be restrained. It keeps ticking away, doesn't it? And I love this quote. It says, time is like a river. You cannot touch the same water twice, because the flow that has passed will never pass again. So it's really important that we do enjoy every moment of our life, but it's also really important that we make every moment count. Okay, so the magic word that comes from time management and the need to know magic words, there are two words, and those are choice and focus. So you've probably heard of the phrase, you will get what you focus on. So, and where focus goes, energy flows. So does what you focus on every day reflect what's important to you and what's important to you and your life? You see, the choice of focus will influence what happens to you in the present, but also more importantly in the future. As it says here, we follow one course until successful. And it's so important to have that lasered focus that we talked about last time on one, you know, maybe one big goal, one thing that's driving you, so that you can really focus on it every day and make sure that that is where, you know, you are choosing to focus. So that's what's going to drive you forward. So have you filled in your weekly planner? We've set a to-do, an action, call to action last week for those of you that were maybe struggling a little bit with time management. Did you fill in, let me open the chat again, did you fill in your tracker that we put into the group? Okay, for 3 days. That's great, Jackie. Even for one day is great, isn't it? Did you discover anything from those 3 days when you did it, out of curiosity?
I think mostly that I needed to kind of schedule the most important things to be done right at the beginning of the day, like my emails that I'm sending out, and then once that's done, I've got time to do other things. But it's very easy to get distracted, and then you think, what have I done for the last hour?
Yeah. So are you good at writing a plan at the beginning of the day and knowing sort of every half an hour what it is that you're going to do, or do you kind of just get up and kind of go with the flow?
Getting there now, because I'm realizing they need to focus on the business building activities. Those are the most important activities for you to do if you really want to build your business, if you're working towards something and really focusing on something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still ongoing. It's a work in progress.
Oh. Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, I'm glad that was useful, because I know for me, when I was really struggling sort of managing my time, I found that activity really, really useful, because what I discovered is the time that I was wasting and the time that I could be more efficient. And, you know, we all need to have downtime. We all need to have set time to do, you know, sort of the different things throughout the day. but also we also need to understand sometimes where that time goes, and we don't always, it just sort of trickles through your fingers sometimes, don't you? So, you know, to save time, you must first know how you spend that time. So you do need to, if you are, you know, kind of feeling like you're juggling everything, my advice to you is get that weekly tracker and fill it in with what you do. Instead of writing a plan of what you want to do, just fill it in with what you do, and then look at what it is that you've achieved. And then you can start, we're going to talk a little bit deeper in this in a moment. But just write down every hour, set an alarm on your clock, and then you'll start to realize the time that you do have available and the time that you waste. You see, you have to know where your leaks, where your drips, where your cracked pipes are in your system, so that you know how to kind of find ways of working around that. So do the drip diagnostics, you know, find that out, and then you can find the methods and the actions to plug the leaks. Okay, so oh, that's not come up how I wanted it to. You see, I believe that to master time is all about us making the right choices. Now, choices is another one of our key magic words with time management. And, you know, for me, choices is a really key magic word in all of our lives. I truly believe one of my key philosophies is that life is all about the choices that we make. Everything that we do is a choice. We can do it or we can't do it, you know, and it's a choice that we make, isn't it, ourselves? And, you know, our choices can be our bestest friends, they can be our worstest enemies, and they can deliver us to our goals, or they can send us orbiting into galaxy far, far away from those choices. You see, choices are the root of every one of your results. And, you know, as we've learned in our last training, our choices are often made through pain or pleasure. So are you choosing to, you know, go through the pain for the pleasure, or are you choosing for the instant pleasure and putting off the pain, which will ultimately lead to pain in the future? And our decisions are made are very much based on that. So, you know, when making choices about time, we do need to look at priorities. This is a fabulous matrix. It's not showing quite as well as I wanted it to show, but this is by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. And it's some questions that we can ask ourselves, because we need to start making deliberate choices regarding the tasks, the goals, and your aspirations that receive your attention. So, you know, are the things that you are doing, are they important, and are they urgent? Are they not important? Are they not urgent? You know, it's putting them into this matrix. I'm not going to go into great detail about this. I mean, I can if anybody wants me to, but not tonight. But it is something that really makes you think about the activities that you are doing and where our focus needs to be. Okay, so not urgent and important is really about where our focus needs to be. And we talked about our goals and how important they are to us, and about how we make those right choices. I think some important questions to ask yourself when you're about to do something, when you write your plan, is, you know, is what I'm doing the most significant use of my time? Is what I'm doing an income producing activity? Is what I'm doing an activity that's important to me? Is what I'm doing, you know, is it about the control over my future? You know, is what I'm doing important to me? So, you know, it is about us really sort of making those right choices and taking control of our time, you know, or it will take control over you. There's a fabulous book. I'm going to show you some books. I've been reading lots of books actually lately on time management. It's something that really fascinates me. It is by a guy called Rory Barden. Fabulous book. And he talks about ways of, you know, prioritizing our tasks. It's actually really, really good. Maybe we do a little bit of training specifically, or a bit of a book review on him further down the line. but it's also about that personal responsibility. Now, something that I learned a long time ago with responsibility, and a really key thing that really was a light bulb moment for me that, you know, that I would like to share with you is, if you are in a, I'm going to open the chat up because I'm going to ask you some questions, but if you are in a business as a partnership, okay, where have you all gone? My chat's opening up really funny. How much responsibility, so okay, so there's me and Andrew, we run our business together. How much responsibility is it for me? How much responsibility is it for Andrew to run our business? How much responsibility is it for Claire? How much responsibility is it for Chris? Absolutely, it is. You know, we have to take that 100% responsibility, don't we, and not allow us. Also, we have to take that responsibility that it's our business and never rely on our success line, you know, because it's easy to do that, isn't it? I know at a certain point in our business many years ago, well, if Andrew's not doing it, I'm not doing it, you know, and it's all very childish. But, you know, if you don't assume there's 100% responsibility yourself for making it happen, you will always find somebody to blame. So, you know, take responsibility. If you have those goals and dreams and them aspirations, it is up to you to make it happen, you know. As they say, if it's going to be, it's up to me. So have a little think about your attitude to your time, you know, really have a think about you, because if it is going to be you. Now, according to Jim Rohn, there are 4 attitudes towards time. Very interesting. We are, things really funny. We're either in the drifter mentality, and you know, this is where life's kind of really unstructured as it possibly can be. We then go into kind of the 9-to-5 time manager. So this often has been conditioned into us. If we've worked 9-to-5 jobs, we kind of think, you know, work starts at 9, then we finish at 5, and that's it. And that's the majority of people that are working for somebody else. So, you know, we're letting them have all the headaches, but we are also letting them have all the glory and the rewards. We then have the workaholics. You know, there's never enough work for them. They're very, very task orientated, not always results orientated, always very busy, but not always very productive. So, you know, sometimes we can move through these attitudes in our business. We kind of drift along. All of a sudden we get a hold of it and we start to, you know, give it full time as what we think full time. Then all of a sudden we get hold of it and we just can't be doing enough, and we're very, very busy, but actually we're not getting the results that we want to get. And then there's in the enlightened time manager. Now, this is the people that plan. This is the people that manage their time. They allot the time for every aspect of their life. There is time to drift, there's time for work, and there are times, you know, they work very smartly. They always multiply their productivity. And I would say we probably have a really good example of an enlightened time manager with the likes of Claire Kinsella. I know when we first met Claire, it's very, very difficult actually to get Claire to write a plan when she initially started in the business with us. But I've seen over time how she has taken on board the planning and time management, and, you know, how you manage your time now so well with so much productivity, you know, absolutely shines in everything that you do, Claire. We've also got another master of time, and I'm going to pass over now to Bev, one of our directors, who has very kindly volunteered to share some of her tips on her planning and how she effectively uses her time. So are we on, Bev?
Oh, we are, Helen.
Thank you. Okay, so Bev's first tip.
Yeah, my first tip, I actually use this, a daily planner, but the one I use is my Pro Planner. I had this as a Prezi last year off lovely Rachel, and to be fair, it's you know, it took me a while to get into it and understand it, but it's been a godsend, especially when we went into lockdown. And I wanted to make full use of my time. So what I like, what I like about it is that you can actually keep all your prospects details there. So what I do, I'm actually contacting by telephone and scheduling people in for a call. And I'm actually keeping a record of all their details. And I'm actually, as you can see on the left-hand side, it's got time slots and they're divided by 30 minutes. So I don't fill every slot up, but I am actually inputting slots, that for those people that I speak to. I give them half an hour slot, but I've got my phone calls down to about 15 minutes. I also block out my work time. I actually do block out, everything is to do with business, so I block out Zooms as well. So all my daily activities like Facebook and what have you, I will do in between. But this is my business planner that I'm blocking out my time to make sure that I am using my time effectively and working my business. There are other pages in this planner as well, but for a new month as well, you do have a little quote, like October was, sometimes you need to slow down to speed up. And there's all lovely little quotes in it, but it is great because you can, in this planner, you can track not only your time, not only your prospects, because you can go back over them at a later stage. You can track your sales, you can track your Facebook and your social media activity. You can track your team. You can even put in your circles, at the start of it. So I do find this, to me, has been a godsend. It's kept me on the straight and narrow, as it says, so that I, as you were saying, sometimes, I used to deviate. I would sit, look through Facebook, and before I know it, an hour would be gone. So yeah, I'm using this planner. And the other thing, another tip that I say that I've been doing as well, we all got these tasks that we put off. So I would suggest every single day, include a task that you've been putting off, whether it's the phone call, sending an email, whatever it is, include it into your routine, into your daily routine. So after a while, it becomes a habit. So what were you doing? And what I find I've done, I'm starting to form habits. So that's another tip. And my other tip is, do we all go out sometimes, go to the shops, and we spend, I don't know, we seem to go off on a tangent. My tip is to stop doing this. When I go to the shops, multitask. Now I'm including dropping off catalogues, dropping off orders. So it doesn't feel like I'm out 2 hours and not worked on my business. I have worked on my business because I have been terrible for that. So there is another, tip that I've been doing. And the other one as well, when you do, I find when you're doing all this and you are working your business, don't forget to take breaks. We all sometimes forget, we rush around, take deep breaths, take some breaks, have something to eat, and make sure that you exercise daily and drink your water. And that's my top tips.
That's lovely. Thanks for sharing that, Bev. As we know, the daily planner is really, really important. Kind of that eat the frog kind of philosophy of doing that one thing that we put off. It really starts the day with momentum, doesn't it? And it really is quite a powerful thing. And as women, we absolutely always multitask, don't we? I have my lunch break at work. I get 45 minutes. I do my walk, I do my exercise. I'm talking to my mum because I need to make sure and check in with her if she's all right. I don't talk to her somewhere, I put my audibles on, so I'm doing my personal development, you know, and then at the same time I'm eating my dinner, and it is kind of like just using that time to tick lots of things off and feel like you're achieving something really well with your time. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
We do need to take control of our time, or it will take control over you. So it's really important to make a plan that's realistic and achievable. I know everybody uses different planners. We did set the goals planner and journal that is there if people want it. It was all done in line with the campaign. So there's an events organizer, there is a calendar, you know, it keeps you on track with everything. It's about it all being in sync, knowing what's going on, being able to be organized, because when we know what's going to happen, we can prepare ourselves for those and we can work a plan out around it. Things happen in life, guys, don't they? You know, we all have our challenges, we all have the things that pop up and surprise us, but when we're knowing what we're doing and we're knowing where we're going, we can work around those things. So, you know, it's all very important to make sure that we have our plans, however we have them. You know, I have a weekly plan, and this is kind of like all my routine activities so that I can look at it over the week. Now, I will get myself 3 copies of my weekly planning sheet. I will cross off the time that I can't do because of work. I'll add in things like the meetings, any of the kids' activities, and then I'll look at what's left, and then I'm going to plot my retail activities and my team building activities. And that's what I always suggest when I'm doing a planning session with the team, because then you can have a look at what time is available. Now, that's my plan. You know, I do have a very busy life. I'm working full time, but I'm fitting in my retail, my team building, and all of my life activities within my plan. And I can have a look what's going on. So if something pops up, I can work myself around it. I can change my drop day, I can change my delivery day, whatever I need to do, and I can look at what time I've got available to do that. What I'll do then is I've got, I think it's really important to have a to-do list. Okay, now I think a to-do list, make sure that, you know, I know what I'm doing on a weekly basis, I know what I'm doing on a daily basis, but having that to-do list of all of the things that's in my head that I'm thinking, oh, I need to fix the shower, oh, I need to, you know, the garden wall's fallen down, or all of these things that need to happen, or this needs to happen with the kids, I need to go and get somebody's birthday present, and all of the other stuff that goes on in our lives. It's really important for us to just dump that, capture it, do a brain dump, if you like, of all of those things that are going around in your head that you think, I need to do, I need to do, I need to do. Because when we do that, okay, so I have a to-do list book. I have a page for business, a page for home, and a page for family. And it allows me to just get it out my head. Because when I've got it out my head, then I can start organising it. And I can then clarify, you know, what is important, what does this mean to me, does it need to be done now, does it need to be put in my diary as a reminder, you know, things that are coming up. So it allows me to clarify, so it just gets you organized with all of those things that's going on. And then I can organise that and put them in so that I know, like Bev said, just choose one of those things every day that you can tick off your to-do list and feel like you're getting somewhere on those to-do things that are at the back of your head that you're thinking that you keep putting off. You know, a great way of doing this is a load of post-it notes, a corkboard, and just kind of just getting it down, just dumping it down, sorting it all out, organising yourself, and then getting your list so that you feel like you are really organised. Because once you've got that and you reflect on what really is important and prioritise them, then you can work a plan that's going to allow you to engage in it. So, you know, plan your daily activities. You know, we have the daily tracker where it's got the half an hours, like Bev said, you know, it keeps you on track with all of your activities, because either you run the day or the day runs you. So it's about having all of those habits, and it is about creating habits, because when we create those habits, we will be highly productive people. Okay, so, you know, also making sure that we are prioritizing our activities, you know, following that plan so we've got a consistent level of action. We have our trackers that are going to keep us on track with the activities that we need to know we need to do on a daily basis. You know, so in here we've got today's targets, the must do's, the should do's, the don't want to forgets. You know, we say no one is too busy in this world. It really is all about prioritizing those things. You know, today's income producing activities are our Facebook activities, our retailing activities, and our team building activities. And those are the key things that we need to do. Life goes on and we need to plan those things in around it. But managing your time without setting priorities is like shooting randomly and calling whatever you hit your target. So just to share with you now, some mastery tips on systems that save time. I'm now going to introduce another one of our fabulous leaders that's absolutely leading the way right now. Her organisation skills outstand me, and I heard a little bit of a training that you did. If you haven't watched her training on getting people started, then you really need to go and listen to it. But I've just asked her to come on tonight and share systems that save time. So Sylvia, if you could just come and share with us some things that you've been doing that's really helping you to save some time.
Yeah, thank you, Helen. So yeah, like I said, I did this in my training, and I've just found these three little things that take a bit of time to set up, but it really does save time in the long run, because it's things that we're doing every day in our business. So it's things that we're doing for prospects, things that we're doing for advertising. So the first one is my text replacement. So when I put a Facebook ad on, I will, when somebody comments for more information, instead of typing out every time, please PM me for more information, or can you please PM me? And so I've got 5 different text replacements set on my phone. I think you can do this on all phones, but definitely on the iPhone. It's just basically in settings, in general, keyboards, and then text replacements, and you can just make your phrase up and put a like title of it. So like I've got like 5 PM, so PM1, PM2, PM3, and they're all just slightly different ways when I'm saying to people to PM me for more information. So instead of typing it all in every time, I'm just typing PM1, send it, PM2, send it. So it saves a little bit of time on every single person that I'm commenting back to. And then also on my like prospect messages, so when they have them PM'd me, I will have my first message in a text replacement, and I send, because I send 2 messages straight away, so I have my first message in a text replacement, so I'm just typing in one mess, and that just brings up the whole couple of paragraphs that we send first, and just send that, and then I paste in the second message. So that saves me time having to go and copy and paste, you know, two separate messages every time. And you can do that for any, you know, any of your adverts, or, you know, you can do it for your adverts, you can do it for any messages, you can just set all them text replacements. But I would say don't do like when we first started doing the at Total Jobs adverts, I set my first message and I called the text replacement app. But then every time I text app to anybody, the whole paragraph of the text. So always try and do it with something that you wouldn't normally be typing. So, you know, a number and a letter or something like that is, you know, really helpful, because it doesn't change anything else then. So yeah, it's just a little thing, but once you've set it up, it does save a lot of time. And then this, you know, the same again with notes in my phone. My whole phone notes are set into different categories. So like it says there, I've got my prospect messages, and then within that folder, I've got all the different prospect messages that I use, which I've just put on the team building group yesterday. So it's basically, you know, my first message, my second message, if they want more information, if they're not interested, when they're ready to get started, if they've, you know, if somebody's joined but not paid. So I've got all of them messages already set up. So it's just basically copying and pasting as I need to. And then obviously as you get into the conversation with people, then you type in the fresh message. But to get through the numbers that we need to get through, it's quick and easy to copy and paste all the basic messages in there. And the same with all my newbie setup. So, you know, all the basics. So I've got the messages, what they need to put in the group. I've got the messages, what they can send to people to invite them to the launch, the messages to send the catalogue link out. The team Zooms, I've got all the links set in there for the team Zoom, so I can just easily copy and paste that into the chat and you know, invite people. Again, the recruitment ads, the VIP messages, applying for a credit account. So I've got what they need to put on there and the email it needs to go to, the WhatsApp links for the groups, and the end of campaign sheet, what we fill in to put the figures in, Facebook group links and the PBS links, all my links, what I need are in there, so I can just copy and paste them. And then I also have a gratitude and a positive folder, which has got like all my affirmations in and positive quotes and all the things that I'm thankful and grateful for. So, you know, if I'm ever in a queue or if I've got, you know, some time, I'll always just go through, and I have got reminders set on my phone to go and look at these, so I can always be focusing on these things throughout the day. So it's just all, you know, little time saving things like that. And then, you know, the photographs in albums, you know, we all do screenshots and we've got our certificates and our team logos and things like that, but putting them into albums so it's easy to get to when you need them. Like we have all the club crew pictures. You know, we don't have to do them every single campaign, because if we've got them in an album, you're not scrolling through, you know, 3 weeks worth of work for when you last had that picture. So you've got it in there in a specific album. You can just go into the album. So I've got like all the welcome posts, all the certificates, you know, the club crew pictures and all that. They're all set in different albums. All the, you know, the tops of the team group, so I can use a different picture each time for that. So they're all set into different albums. So again, it's just easy to go into one album and copy the thing. And it's just all, like I say, it takes time to set it all up at the beginning, but they're all things that we're doing every single day. So if you take half an hour to set something up, and then it saves you, you know, a couple of minutes every time you do it, over the week, over the campaign, over the months, it's saving, you know, that little bit of time that you've got time to do a little bit extra with your family, or a little bit extra adverts, or a little bit extra in your business. So it all helps. And yeah, that's me.
That's brilliant. I mean, anything that you can do where you know where things are. It's like having our house organised, isn't it? You know, knowing where your keys go, because I don't know how much time Andrew spends of his life looking for car keys when we have a special place where they go, and if you just put them there, you know, it saves time, doesn't it? Otherwise, kind of, you're like, you're dashing out the door and all of a sudden you're late because you can't find the keys. So it's the kind of the same methodology, isn't it? It's having things organised, having them in a place where they're to hand, where you can quickly find them. And I love this. I'm rubbish on my phone. My laptop, I have everything organised and know where it is. But, you know, actually, guys, we take this with us everywhere, don't we? We live our life on our mobile phones. So, you know, having it there to hand and having it organised and having it like this just makes us be so much more efficient, you know, and it's all those things that can save time and make us more efficient, like Sylvia said, that we can then use that time, you know, be far, far more productive. One big thing for me that I organised that really did help me, I never knew what to cook for tea, okay? And so I set myself like a 4 weekly menu. Along with that 4 weekly menu becomes my shopping list. So I know every week what my shopping list is, know what I'm getting, and know when I get up in the morning, what's for tea. I know I need to get a bag of chicken out the freezer, or I need to get some minced beef out of the freezer. I get it out in the morning. So when I come home, it's ready defrosted for me for tea. And it's simple things like that that can make a massive difference in your life, feeling less stressed, more organised. And it is those things. And one of the important things in our business, and a lot of the books that I've been reading, is all about having that workspace. And that workspace where we can go to work. You know, I know Claire, you can see her work in a beautiful new office now, and how more productive does that feel? Because you go into work having that workspace, having everything around you, having it all available to hand makes a difference, doesn't it? But having that workspace here and being organized with it makes such a difference when we're not panicking and we're not stressed and we're not trying to find things and, you know, getting ourselves all worked up. So thank you, Sylvia, for sharing some of those wonderful tips. I think they're absolutely fabulous. You know, having it to hand, taking our business everywhere with us and being organized is absolutely crucial. Another really important thing, I think, in the business, and I was going to ask Angela, Harry's is an absolute superstar with checklists and trackers and loves her Excel spreadsheets, and, you know, we either do or we don't we? But when we have a checklist, and, you know, we have, for example, our Facebook selling strategy tracker, where you can see what you need to do and where you can tick those things off, and that feeling of achievement when you've got all those boxes coloured in, ticked off and done, you know, it's massive, isn't it? You know, when we have things to do, we do them and we've done them and we feel that sense of achievement. That's actually really good. But it's also about being organised and knowing what we need to do, you know, on a regular basis, because as we know, one of the keys to this business is consistency, and us doing these things on a regular, you know, regular time slots, making the time to do these, doing them, achieving them, ticking them off, and knowing that we've done those activities, those income producing activities that are going to produce the results, is key for us to get our goals. So, you know, maybe Angela can talk on one of ours, because I know she's really good at checklists and trackers, and not sure she's on. I did have a quick peek while Sylvia was talking. I couldn't see her, so I don't think she's on tonight. So that's such a shame. Just a few other sort of mastery tips, really. Deal with your business before your challenges. There are always going to be things that's going to be happening. You can't change things which you have no control over. Just have the mindset that if you were in work in your job, would you be able to stop doing what you're doing to go and sort this out, or could it wait? Now, obviously there are emergency things, and I'm not saying don't do the emergency things, but think about being your own boss. You are your own boss. Would you employ you? So, you know, is it a serious challenge or is it a little challenge, and, you know, can it wait till later? Because often we kind of distract ourselves from the things that we need to be doing because things happen. So, you know, make sure that you're dealing with your business first. A really key one here as well is learning to say no. You know, I know when we're working at home, you can get, my mum phones up and she wants to come round and have a coffee. Again, if I was in work, you know, this is my time that I've allotted to do my business tasks. If I was in work, would my boss be very happy if I went off and had a cup of coffee with my mum? Probably not, would she? So are you going to be happy with yourself if you bugger off and have a cup of coffee with your mum, and then you come back and you'd set on your plan that you were going to do all your activity, and all of a sudden it's not gone done? Make time to do those things. Most definitely, you know, it's learning to say, no, not right now. I'm really busy doing this. I've allotted this time to do this activity, but actually I'll be free then, and not letting other people rule your life and rule your plans, because it's not their dreams that you're working towards. It's your dreams, isn't it? And you need to make sure that you are working towards them. Delegate wherever you can, you know, things like, one key thing for me was getting a cleaner. My time is so precious. Do I want to spend 4 hours on a Saturday morning cleaning the house, or can I allow somebody else to do that frees me up to give me 4 hours of actually income producing activities? So what can you delegate? You know, if you've got children, get them involved in the business. We always used to set little jobs for them to do when they were little. They're not so adaptable now, they're older, but, you know, we have, I cook tea, you do the dishwasher. You know, it's about a team effort in a house, isn't it? It's not everything's my responsibility in the house. It is about that teamwork and working together. So, you know, if you want your house to look all lovely, which one of the things I absolutely have to have my house all organized and like it all clean, and if it's not, it annoys me. It's about being organized with that, but also not thinking it's all down to you and not thinking it's only going to be done properly if I do it. Allow that perfectionism to drop and allow other people to help you. Ask for help and delegate. You know what, as well, when you work, and when you play, play. We had sponsors in our last business that actually used to say to us, you want to build this business, you need to make lots of sacrifices. You know, you can't be doing this and you can't be doing that and you can't be doing the other. And I used to feel guilty going to watch my boys play football. But I'd work. When I worked and I was doing what I was doing. And that was my time with my family to go and watch my boys play football. Never, ever feel guilty for that. But you know, when you set your time to work your plan, and then know that when you are having your time to play, be with your family, go out on your date night, do whatever it is you want to do, then go and enjoy it. And it was Harry Hancock that said at one of the meetings, wherever you are, be there. You know, don't allow things to distract you from enjoying your life. Know yourself, know when you're the most productive, know when you're available. That's all to do with your planning. I know in the morning I'm much better than I am maybe late at night. Well, it used to be the other way around. I used to do loads of things at night time. It's funny how things change, but know when you're the most productive and put those activities in your productive times. And ask yourself all the time, is what I'm doing an income producing activity? Is what I'm doing a significant use of my time that is going to take me towards my goals and my dreams that I want for my life? Because as we said before, if it is to be, it's up to me, and there's only you that can take control of that. It really is in your hands. These are some fabulous books that I would recommend if you want to know how to manage your time. If you want, you know, we always say, don't we, if you learn more, you'll earn more. You will find these tips, you know, plug into all of the trainings, find ways of working for yourself. You know, we all operate slightly different. What works for one doesn't work for another. Find the way to make the most of your time and really then work your plan. And I wish you every success for you to go and make those dreams, those goals, that vision that you have for your future, make the rest of your life the best of your life. And I'm going to hand over now to anybody else that would like to share any of your top tips, or anything that you're going to do that's going to make a better use of your time. Or maybe, I don't know, you've got something else that you'd like to share with us tonight. I'm going to have a drink because my throat's really dry now.
Thank you, Helen. That was great, and it was good to hear Bev and Sylvia's tips as well. And I know that we've kind of heard some of them before, but it's good to just reinforce them. And Leslie as well. There was some great stuff in there, and it's good to hear the goals and stuff like that. But thanks, Helen. But I think there's so many ways that you can, like, almost multitask, but not to a point where you're not giving things your time. So I think that's the thing, isn't it? We've got to be careful with multitasking, that we need to make sure we're still giving it the time it deserves, but we can fit stuff in. I mean, something that my earphones are just like the best thing for me. So there's always things that have got to be done in my house, but if I put my earphones on, I can be listening to a podcast or a training or some affirmations or me manifestation magic, whatever it is. But even phone calls, I'll very often do coaching calls while I've got my earphones in as well, and I might be like sorting out washing in my bedroom or whatever, and I'm on the phone. And I think if we can turn non-producing income activities into producing ones, it definitely helps with time as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's knowing when to be where you need to be, and knowing when you can, you know, like you say, when you go to bed, put your magic manifestation, you can sleep, you can do that mindset stuff, can't you? And that's not going to affect anything. There are lots of things that we can kind of multitask with, but you know, it is really important that we maximize those moments. I love I now I go to work and I've always felt really, really guilty about putting my earphones in. From 9 o'clock, the phones are on. I can't have my earphones in when I'm working, but I'm there from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock. And for a long, long time, I thought it's really rude and I don't want to put my earphones in. I go into the office and actually they're really rude. They don't talk to me. I'm sat there working at my computer. And you know what? I made that decision. You're not building my dreams, and actually this hour whilst I'm working can help me with my fitting in things like my personal development and all of those things. So now I spend that hour with my earphones in work, whether they think I'm rude or not. It's about me, and I'm listening to my audibles. I've got 12 minutes, I've got a new app, it's 12 minutes and it tells you all books in 12 minutes, so it's a good overview of different books. I've got the magic manifestation, and I've just been doing this for the last couple of weeks, and it's making such a difference, because I do the 15 minutes to work in the car, I do the 15 minutes home from work in the car, I do them when I go to bed, but I want to know more, I want to fit more in, and it's how can I fit that in? So it's looking and assessing, planning, isn't it? It's doing, and it's reviewing the time that we have and where we can make better use of that time, and making a decision to do that, even if that you feel like somebody else might not like that. You know, it's not up to them, is it? You know, they're not going to change my life, they're not going to change my bills, they're not going to help my dreams come true. In fact, the bloody miserable sods, and I can't wait to get out there and the fuel in the fire to build the business, which is fine, but it you know, it is about those decisions, the choices that we make and the things that we focus on, isn't it, that we've talked about. So
you've got to take it all in, and I think when you're doing all these trainings and stuff, I think the key is, and I think a lot of people, I think you can lose a lot of people sometimes where they feel that they have to just do what it says, and it might not be something they want to do or the way they work or whatever. I think the whole part to all the training is just to be a good student and take in what works for you and put it into your way. If you know, it doesn't always have to be someone else's way.
yeah.
So I think we all develop things, don't we, as we go along, but I think if we can be that student to take in and soak up as much as we can,
Yeah,
works, and then go and put it into action. And we need to kind of match it, don't we, an hour of learning with an hour of doing.
yeah.
So it's not just going in and in, we're actually putting it into work, and that's when you start to see the big results come off the back of it all then, don't you?
Absolutely. And I didn't mention this on this slide, I'm just going to come back to this one because I thought it was really good. I know when you've got children, we've done this business for 14 years, so we had little children when we first started the business, and there's this, it's called Kanban, activity that you can do. I don't know whether you can see it here, but this is really good if you've got children and they sometimes want your attention. Well, you can show them, put things on post-it notes, so the things that mum needs to do today and the things that they want to do today, and you can put them on the to-do, what you're going to do today. You can put them on doing, so you're doing them right now. You can move the post-it notes across, and then you can put done so that they can see fairly. It's a visual thing that you can use. It's a really good way of organising your time and letting yourself see how you've done it. But certainly if you've got children, just letting them see that you have important tasks to do and they have things that they want to do, and you have a balance of that. And sometimes they need to be patient and wait for you, but sometimes, you know, you then need to stop doing what you're doing and give them the attention that they need. And sometimes it's very, very difficult getting that balance. I know some people really struggle with that. You know, trying to get them to have something where they're occupied, and obviously it all depends on age and things like that. As they get older, that gets more manageable, but involving them in things, you know, and rewarding them for the things that they do, whether that be that, you know, the thing that they need to do is just give you half an hour so you can go and do something, then you'll give them, you know, 10 minutes so that you can go and do something together. And, you know, I found that this business has really taught our children to understand work ethic, you know, that you need to do something if you want to receive something, and action produces results. And there's so much education that you can teach your children through this, and planning and organising is a major skill in life that you can help them to organise and know and develop throughout their lives. So You know, it is really, really important. Anybody else? Oh, there's a new message popped up. Just check if anybody's put anything in the chat. I thought you might like that one, Danielle. That's quite a good one for when you've got little ones. I know sometimes it is difficult. You know, but it's allowing us to have that permission on our to-do list to kind of maybe eliminate some of the things that really aren't important as well. And looking at the, you know, that we talked a little bit about sacrifices. That for me, I don't like the word sacrifices so much as it makes you feel like you've really got to give something up. You haven't always got to give something up forever. If you want to find more time, maybe you need to adjust some of the things that you're doing. I know one of the first things that we did when we did this business is we stopped watching television. Now, I wouldn't say I sacrificed my television because it wasn't really a need. It was just something that we did. And actually, now that we do that, I understand television, it can be a massive waste of your time. That's not to say that we don't watch television. We will now and again sit down and watch a film that we plan and do that together. But, you know, it's about planning that in, isn't it? And making sometimes that sacrifice, if you like a treat for doing what you've done. So do what you've done and then give yourself that treat. So these days, TV, you know, if you love Coronation Street or whatever it is, you don't have to stop what you're doing and watch it. I don't know, is it on at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night? It's on later, so you can still watch it, but make sure that you've done your activity first and then feel like you've rewarded yourself by giving you a treat of watching television if you don't want to sacrifice that. But it's just about organising it and not letting TV is one that's used quite often, ruling your life. You know, you come in, you sit down, you watch television and suddenly 3 hours has disappeared. What could you have done with that 3 hours more effectively to take you towards your dreams? You know, there are things that sometimes we can't do that we want to do, but we can do in the future. My biggest reason why has always been my family. I've never been driven by money. I've never been driven by trips. It's always been the flexibility and the freedom of the business and wanting to be a part of my children's lives. Now, I would never sacrifice as such the time with my children to build my business to give me that. I would adapt the time so that I could do the things I wanted to with the children, but also work my business when maybe they weren't here or they were engaged in other activities. And it's about getting that right balance so that you're not running your business feeling guilty about what you're losing. So I hope that kind of makes some sense.
I've got a few tips, Helen, just things that I do.
Thank you, Jackie.
When I'm doing my emails now, I started off, I targeted myself to do 100 emails a day, but now I'm doing like 400 a day.
Wow.
And it's because I've got faster at doing it, because I'm focusing on it, I'm doing it all at once.
Yeah.
When you do something all at once, you get quicker at it. All your focus is going towards that one thing while you're doing it. And the way my emails, I'm doing them on my laptop and I'm using Clipboard. So I've got all the different emails that I send. It's only about 2 or 3 different emails that I send, but they're all ready on the Clipboard. So when you're sending an email, you can click on what you want for the subject, and then you can click on what you want for the body of the email as well.
Okay.
And that saves so much time. And then if you've got your 3 subjects and you've got your 3 body of the emails, they're all in that Clipboard on your laptop.
Brilliant.
And I've got it down to 90 emails every 20 minutes.
Wow. That's amazing, isn't it? And that's about the concentration and focus on that activity, isn't it? And becoming better and adapting and planning it, doing it, reviewing it and thinking about better ways of working. So just a tip for you with that. I set up, so my emails, I set up different signature strips. So you can set up a signature.
Yeah.
When you go on, you can use the signature and it will auto populate that email within there.
Mm-hmm.
So I use that. So
yeah, I've got my signature and it's got the recruitment link, it's got my Facebook link, it's got Instagram link and a telephone number as well. So
Yeah.
that's all in the signature there. I've also set up an auto reply
Yeah.
so that people know that I'm going to get back to them in 24 hours.
So many, yeah. You using the tools, automating whatever we can where possible, isn't it? You know, one of the things, like there's got scheduler, but within your signatures, Jackie, you can actually put the whole reply. You don't just have to do a signature strip. You can put the whole thing as your signature. And when you click on signature, this is how I do it at work. So if I've got to send it, one of my things that I have to do is I have to send contracts out, and there's different contracts, and there's 4 different emails that go out with the different contracts. So I'll put a contract with DBS, and if I click on that, it auto does my email. Okay, all I've got to do then is, and at the top of that I set it up so it's got my subject, and I drag it into the subject, so I haven't got to type it. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, and it's just there, so you click signature, so it might say email 1, okay,
Yeah.
click email 1, and it will put your email into the email.
Yeah.
And then all you've got to do then is, I don't know if you type in the name or you're doing like blind copying.
No, just type in the name, so I type that in.
Are you doing an individual email to each person, or are you doing 50 at a time and blind copying them?
Individual emails.
So all you've got to do then is type it in, because the subject, you just lift it up into the subject box, and then the rest of the email's in there in the signature strip.
You left it, I can explain.
I'll maybe do a video thing of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What else was I going to say? Something to help you focus is you can listen to particular sounds and music on YouTube that will help you focus and stop you from getting distracted, and you really get into it. But that's on the Manifestation Magic app as well. There's something on there that helps you focus.
Absolutely. Getting your mind into the alpha waves instead of the beta waves. That's what it's doing. It's taking you into the creativity part of your mind.
Because you're putting massive action in as well, and when you're really going for it, and you're excited, and you kind of typing as fast as you can.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it, how that sinks you?
Yeah, brilliant. I thought I'd just share that tip.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Jackie. Have we got any more tips? We've gone quite over the time, guys, so sorry about that tonight. Been really good training, lots of tips as well from everybody. I'll maybe do something on signature strips. I'll do a little video or a little training on that, because I use that all the time. I have them all set up for everything. Don't know how you do it on your phone, so I'm good on a laptop, but I'm sure you can do it once you've set it up. Right, okay. Okay, we'll do something on that then. I'll do some training on it. Fab, we've also been asked to do some training on PowerPoint slides, so that's something that will be coming up. If there's anything that anybody would like us to cover, then please message us. You know, there are so many people in the team that are so knowledgeable. Maybe what we'll do over the next couple of weeks, we'll do some little trainings plus some other bits on you know, effective use, little time saving systems and things like that, and maybe little videos that go along with actually showing a bit the detail. So if people are a bit confused how to do that, we'll have a little bit of a step-by-step to do that. Okay, well, we'll call it a night. Thank you, everybody. I love doing these trainings because as part of that, you learn so much. I think you learn more when you teach more. Do you know, if that makes sense? So also, you know, we're always looking for volunteers because I think when you teach it, you have to know it. So it really makes you think about it. And we know that that level of information that we take in takes it to another level. Some of those books, I'll put that slide into the group. They are brilliant. That time management for Manic Mums I got 2016, and you can see I'll have all these little post-it note things on the side, and it's highlighted all over. There is so much information in that one. I absolutely love it. And that's time management for manic mums, and they do one for manic dads as well. But that's a really good one. It's 7 weeks of getting your life in control. But there's some really fabulous books. I don't know where they've gone now. What's the me for? Oh, it's gone up. Right, okay, guys. Well, we'll call it a night. Thank you so much to Leslie. Thank you so much to Bev. Thank you so much to Sylvia. Thanks to Claire also, Jackie, everybody else that has jumped in and shared some tips with us tonight. You know, we all know these little nuggets of information. It's about sharing with one another, isn't it, to help one another be successful. So let's go make a plan. Let's get really organised, and let's go make the rest of our life the best of our lives. See you next week. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye.